Do you ever find it difficult to decide what you're gonna have for breakfast? I know I do. If I had it my way, I would have a poached egg and avocado toast every single morning. However, it's just not realistic. Do you have time for that every morning? I don't think so. Most of the time, what am I doing? I'm digging through my pantry, looking through the cereals I have for something quick. So I usually turn to the healthiest of all my cereals, granola. It's healthy. It has whole grains, nuts, fruit. Perfect, right? I think you'd be as surprised as I was when I actually took the time to compare my granola to my other cereals in the pantry. 1 cup of Honey Nut Cheerios contains 12 grams of sugar, where 1 cup of my store-bought granola contains 28 grams of sugar. That's more than double. I had to find an alternative. I have to eat breakfast, but I want something healthy, not high in sugar. So I make my own now, and I'm gonna show you how to make your own granola, where you can control what goes into it, especially the sugar content. Let's go. All right, I have all my ingredients out and ready to go. First thing I did was melt my coconut oil. I used 5 to 7 tablespoons, melted on the stovetop, set aside to cool. Secondly, I preheated my oven to 250 degrees. Now, we're gonna mix everything into one bowl, get in the oven, and that's it. Very simple. First thing we put in are coconut chips. These are my favorite. They're larger than the shreds, and they're just fun. So I use coconut shreds, or coconut chips, excuse me. I find these at Fresh Thyme. They have organic coconut chips. They are gluten-free and no sugar added. That's the most important thing, is not getting coconut shreds or chips with added sugar. If you can't find the chips, shreds will work just fine. So I'm going to add 3 cups to my bowl. Next, I have about 2 cups of coarsely chopped mixed nuts, whatever I had on hand. I had almonds, cashews, pecans, walnuts, and I threw in some pepita seeds, as you can see, also known as pumpkin seeds. We're gonna add those. 2 cups of certified gluten-free oats. And this one, my favorite latest addition, is gluten-free Rice Krispies. And I'm just gonna do a cup. I'll include all of the measurements in the description below as well. And I have some seeds here. I have 2 tablespoons of chia seeds, tablespoon of flax seeds, and some hemp hearts. All right, we're gonna throw those in. Cinnamon, I love cinnamon. I did a whole tablespoon of cinnamon. I feel like you can never get enough cinnamon. But you can put whatever spices you want. You could do cardamom, you could do a pumpkin pie spice, little mixture in there, yum. So I'm gonna add that. And now we're going to mix it all up very carefully. That's loud, isn't it? Sorry. The glass bowl. I use a glass bowl just so you can see all the ingredients in here. I usually use a deeper bowl, but I wanted you to be able to see everything and how delicious it looks. All right, now I'm going to take my oil and put that in there as well. Just kind of get it all over everything, and we'll mix it up so it gets coated nicely and evenly. I'm gonna get it all in there. And this is one of those recipes where you can just play with it and see what works best for you. If you don't want to use coconut oil or you're allergic to coconut, take the flakes out, take the shreds out, and use another neutral, use a neutral tasting oil of your choice. You could also use butter, melted butter if you wanted to. All right, we're gonna mix this up. Try to get that all coated evenly. Smells really good too. I know, that sounds weird, right? All these raw ingredients smelling good, but they do, especially that cinnamon in there. The coconut oil is fragrant. Lastly is our added sweetener. Now, I like to use honey or maple syrup. You can choose whichever, but there is no refined sugar in here whatsoever. And as you can see, there's a little darkness on top. I did add a teaspoon of vanilla just for fun. I wanted to see if I could taste it in the granola, and if I can't, I'm not gonna use it again. I'm not gonna waste my vanilla, but we're gonna try it out. This is a really fun recipe just to try things out on. Also, if you are watching your sugar intake and don't want any spikes in your sugar levels, you could use brown rice syrup as an alternative to honey or maple syrup. Like I said, this is one of those recipes that you just play with and you tweak it to be the way that you want it, your perfect granola. 3 tablespoons of honey is all I put in mine. If you're making the switch, you're not used to those lower amounts, you might want to add a little bit more. Just like I said, play with it. This recipe has a lot of give. You could always add a little extra honey and bake it a little longer. If you sample it and you say, oh, I just want it a little bit sweeter, you can do that. Look at this, it's gorgeous. It's getting a little sticky, which is great because what happens then is some of the clumps stick together and they bake together, and then you get a nice clump and you can kind of snack on that throughout the day if you want a healthy snack. All right, it's all mixed. Next, we're just gonna pop it on a baking sheet, and put it in the oven. Let's go do that now. I have a large cookie sheet lined with parchment paper ready for spreading my granola. So you're just going to spread it, place it on the sheet, and then you can spread it around actually. It's a lot easier to do it that way. Try to get all these delicious bits out of this bowl. Nothing goes to waste. All right. And I'm just going to spread it with a spoon. Now with this, it's so simple. You just want to make sure that you don't have any pockets of bare spots on your sheet. You don't have huge clumps laying on each other and then sparse spots where there's hardly any granola, because you want to get it as evenly baked as possible. And the low temp is there because you don't have any eggs, you're not baking anything, you're just kind of toasting the whole thing. That's the point of baking it. And your house is gonna smell absolutely delicious as it bakes. All right, this looks pretty good. And next we're just gonna throw it into the oven. I just keep moving it around. And I just said it's pretty good. I'm a bit of a perfectionist, that's how it goes. Voila, all set. Now we're gonna put it in the oven for 15 to 30 minutes. I put mine in for closer to 30 because I like it a little extra crispy. However, this is your recipe, so play with it. See if you like it at 15 minutes, 20, 25. See what your favorite texture and crunch level is and go from there. All right, let's go. My timer just went off, so let's check the granola and see. Oh, it smells so good. I'm just gonna mix it around. You know, I'm losing a lot of heat out of my oven when I do this, but it's fine. I can always bake it for a little bit longer. This side always seems to get the most done the quickest. It's closest to the fan, so I'm gonna move that out of the way. So those are some pretty browned pieces of coconut. And then I'm gonna move the stuff that was on the other side and under, mix it up to pull the stuff from underneath on top. I'm just gonna move that over. I might bake it. It looks pretty good. Those coconut pieces are kind of your indicators. They'll get brown and crispy. I do want it just a touch crispier. So I think I'll bake it for just 5 more minutes and call it good. It's ready. Look at that. I wish you could smell this because it smells so delicious. I've let my granola completely cool, so now I can transfer it to an airtight container. This recipe yields around 8 cups of granola, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. and that breakfast is so much more interesting for you. Hey, be sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.